Coach Nate here, guys, and I am on a mission. You know, I have done Tabata style interval ab workouts. I have explored HIIT a little bit, but I don't really know necessarily what it is, and I don't even know if I'm doing it correctly or if it works for runners. Right. So Trevor of Perform for Life Run Labs, because that's who he is and that's where we are. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, so today we're basically going to talk all about what HIIT training actually is, what that means scientifically.
And what does it even stand for?
High intensity interval training. Yeah, high intensity interval training. What it is, debunk some myths about high intensity interval training as well, and then we're actually going to take you through a workout.
I did not know that. Well, let's get started, or let's get this over with. So, I do know that HIIT training, that high intensity interval training, is supposed to be high intensity. It's supposed to be hard. But I think one of the things that I struggle with a little bit is like, well, how hard am I actually supposed to go?
Yeah, that's a good question. But rather than me telling you, how about I just show you with the Tabata workout. HIIT training is really designed to be intervals between a really high intensity and a really low intensity. Therefore, your average in between will be higher than what you can usually sustain, if that makes sense. Then you're just going to go like a tempo run. We want to get higher than that, right?
So you said Tabata.
Yeah, Tabata. Tabata. Have you heard of Tabata?
I have.
Okay, so Tabata 2010, right? 20 seconds of work.
10 seconds of
10
rest.
seconds of rest. Do you know where Tabata came from?
It came from Japan, I think, Dr. Tabata.
Dr. Tabata, right?
He used it for speed skaters.
Nice.
Right?
Well educated, my man. Nice,
and, he used it to, I think, build their VO2 max.
Perfect.
But some insane, disgusting protocol.
Right. Yeah, so the percentage that he used is 140% of their VO2 max.
God.
Yeah, very high. Based on your
You're
VO2.
Make me do a Tabata thing right now?
Yeah, so do you remember your VO2 max value?
Unfortunately, I do.
You do? Okay, so let's calculate it. What was that?
So my number, I believe, was 63.
63, okay. So 63, and we're gonna divide that by 0.2 conversion, and then divided by 26. So that is your meters per second, is 12.1 miles per hour on the treadmill, 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
10 seconds of rest, as many reps as you can.
Okay.
12.1 miles per hour.
To failure.
Yes, sir, yep. And that is your optimized Tabata profile based on what he found for speed skaters. Now what we know is after we've created that for runners, that profile shifts a little bit. But just to make sure you get a sense of what Tabata really is, we're gonna make sure that you're at 140%.
Oh my goodness, okay. So I guess we gotta go over that treadmill.
Yes, let's hit the treadmill.
All right, let's do it. All right, so
here we are.
Let's do this thing.
You look ready to
treadmill.
go, man. But let's make sure you warm up first. You know, I definitely don't want you to
going 12 miles an hour, first things out of hole is not a good idea.
12 is really fast.
All right, show me what you got for a little
Yeah, let's go hit the warm up.
So I've got my healthy sheen. I'm pretty warm. But like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. So essentially, Tabata is based on 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds off. So you're gonna do intervals, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and you're gonna do as many as you can. Specifically, we're gonna try and get to around 8 intervals as a goal for today. That'll be about 4 minutes of work at 140% of your VO2 that we calculated in the VO2 the last time that you were in. So with that value, we turn that into a flat ground running speed, and then we multiply that by 1.4 to get 140% of that speed, and that brought us to 12.1.
So this is important. So rather than going a speed that I think I can hold that's more comfortable, I am starting off at that pretty high speed, and the idea is that I'm flirting with failure.
Exactly.
And then the idea is as I build my fitness and tolerance, I can push that out a little bit further.
Exactly. So we're really trying to push your capacity to hold a given speed, and that in theory will demand more work, right? More oxygen consumption. VO2 is the amount of oxygen you consume.
Yeah.
If you pump that higher, you should be able to hold a faster pace for longer. And running, that's what we're going for, right?
That's what we're going for. Well, let's get this thing started.
Let's get it.
Ready.
Yeah, here we go. So I'm gonna get it up to 12.1. And then we'll let this timer go.
And you
I'll
just
talk you
warmed
through
me
it.
up to that speed, so I'm not
primed
doing
you
this,
yeah.
you know, out of the gate. Like,
right. So that's one
went
of
through a bunch of dynamic exercises.
Yeah.
You built me to speed up, so I'm not doing this cold.
Exactly. That's one of the biggest issues with HIIT is making sure that you're really primed and ready to actually go at 140% of what you're usually doing, right?
Listen to this thing. It sounds like a jet.
It's purring. You're going to be flying. So you're going to get all the way up to 12.1. 12.1.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're going to be flying. All right. So that's a 4:57 pace, 5-minute mile pace. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like not even marathon world record.
Not even close. We're going to go for 20 seconds is the goal, okay? So we're going to start in 10. We'll start at the minute mark, okay? And I'll talk you through it. So we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're on, Nate. Grab, lift off. Good, 1 down. Good work, Nate. Good work. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're back on. Good. Two down, how you doing? Let's go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're back on. Nice work, you got this.
Is that 6 or 5?
6. 3, 2, 1. You're on. We started at 30, right? 10 seconds. Okay, we have a little more than it. One more than 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. False alarm, I lied.
I know that coaching.
One more rep.
I know that coaching.
One more rep. Let's go. Come on, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Mentally strong. Here we go. Stay strong. Stay strong. Let's go. 15 seconds left. Stay relaxed. Stay in there. Let's go, Nate. 10 seconds. Last rep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Good work. Woo. Good work, man. How you feeling?
Woo. That's good.
Good.
That's hard.
Yeah, let's walk it out. Comfortable walking speed? Okay.
Let's go. Hold on. Hang on there.
You think Tabata would be proud of you?
I hope so.
I feel like you mastered that. I feel like you did pretty well.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty difficult.
I felt like I could have maybe handled a little bit more speed or maybe a little bit more
incline
or something.
Yeah, right.
For the next
Definitely.
round.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know, when we're talking about like how do you know you've hit the right intensity.
Of course.
Intervals for me, if I couldn't make all 8 intervals,
then you weren't.
You'd probably say you're not going faster, right?
Yeah.
If you can easily make all 8 intervals, and that was not easy.
Threshold.
Right, that wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Then that means you're probably not there.
Right.
Or your threshold has been pushed out.
Pushed out. Definitely makes sense. So what we know from Dr. Tabata's research is that around 140% is the optimized number for improving VO2 max.
Interesting.
Actually, the higher that you go might actually not result in that marginal improvement in VO2.
Interesting.
140 is like the bread and butter zone. Although don't forget that everybody's a little different, so that variance sways, right? But what he found is that around 140, and at 140, most people fail around 8 reps. Right? So that was his research, that's what he found, so that's his recommendation. Although it doesn't mean that some people at 140% go until 10. Remember, Tabata's till failure. Tabata's till failure. So we set a solid mark of, hey, this is what Dr. Tabata says, 140%, around 8 reps.
Right.
So in theory, we would have pushed you to 10, to 12, whatever that was, and then we could have cranked that up. Yeah. Right. Have you been running since the last time I saw you?
Yeah, man, I've been fit.
Really? Oh, so then also we could be wrong there, right? The calculating the
I've done some
VO2.
big track workouts. I hit a hard 5K race.
Okay.
You guys may have seen.
Nice.
So I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you think your VO2 is higher than what it was last time I saw you?
I feel more run fit.
More run fit? Yeah.
So
specifically speaking, it's calculated on that as well, right? So that could have been marginally lower also.
Yeah.
Of where you're at.
I haven't been doing necessarily like VO2 workouts, but I've been doing a lot of stuff at 5K pace, if not a little bit faster.
So what we see is the highest VO2s are in people that run 5Ks or miles.
Interesting.
The highest anaerobic threshold or race pace that you can hold is in marathoners and long distance runners.
Right.
So it's a percentage of that.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I should say thank you.
I guess, yeah,
But,
no problem.
The next thing, I'm gonna wipe myself off a little bit, and we're just gonna go into a little bit of, some mistakes to avoid with HIIT training and just really how to make this thing work for you.
Perfect, looking forward to it.
Thanks, buddy.
Nice job.
So it seems like this HIIT training only really works for runners if I'm training in the right intensity. You showed me how to use my VO2 max that we just went in here and did a couple months ago, and you guys can see that video. And you set my speed to hit that optimal zone.
Yeah.
What are some of the other potential mistakes runners might be making that would prevent this from working for them?
Yeah, most definitely. I think training too intense is one of the biggest ones that we see. Training too intense, thinking that HIIT training is like a maximum sprint and then nothing, maximum sprint.
That's interesting because I was surprised when I was doing this Tabata. It was hard and challenging, but it wasn't like as soul crushing as I've potentially made it in the past, which makes me think maybe I did it too hard before.
Yeah, well, the objective is oxidative training. So if you're sprinting all out, the muscles might not support the speed. The muscles might go out first before the oxidative system. So we want to hit an oxidative capacity, not an all-out sprint capacity, if that makes sense. Those are very, very tender, optimal zones, right? And that's why we want to hit that specific zone.
What about training other forms of movement other than running?
It depends. So Tabata is great for other things. We use it in circuit training, boot camps, and things like that. But to be really specific and optimized, we need to use a percentile. So it's almost like miscommonly named. It's more so like a circuit training type class with Tabata principles.
Right.
Does that make sense?
And if someone doesn't have this awesome Perform for Life run lab in their backyard like I do,
right.
And an awesome person to put me through a VO2 max test, how could they, figure out what zone would work for them on their own?
Right, I would use a percentage of like a 5K pace. So if somebody's really comfortable with their 5K pace, they know their 5K pace, around 130 to 140% of that 5K pace, you could transfer into Tabata pretty well.
Oh, that's good. And then you're just flat on the treadmill. And
flat on the treadmill, 0 degree.
Making sure you're safe, et cetera, et cetera. Well, Trevor, that is really, really good. We actually made a Tabata style workout that you can do led by our very own coach Morgan. In fact, it is this video that is coming up next. So go ahead and check that out, and Trevor and I are gonna cool down.
Perfect.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem.
Coach Nene here.
Nenes are really cool.
What are they?
Hawaiian geese. You never seen a nene?
No.
Dude,
I learned all
really
types of
cool.
things from you today.